Hey guys, welcome to the Green Bridge. I'm excited to be bringing this video to you. Please, if you have not subscribed, please make sure you subscribe. Because today, we are going to be talking about the B word. I know, I said it, the B word. Yes, budgeting. I know you guys are definitely scared about budgeting. I know a lot of people are scared about budgeting. There's different reasons why people are actually scared of budgeting. There's 5 reasons that they say that people are scared of why people are scared of budgeting. Number 1 was the shame and embarrassment that you might be an adult and not know how to budget. The second reason was not wanting to burden others. And the third reason was it's not how we've been brought up. So like our parents didn't teach us anything about financial literacy or budgeting or anything. They just didn't really sit you down and explain it. It causes stress and anxiety. Oh yeah, if you're an avoidant person, budgeting can create some stress because it really, if you're not even a math person, you're definitely stressed from thinking about creating a budget. And then the last one is thinking you should be more successful than you are. And honestly, I think this really plagues a lot of people coming up and are younger that were like, dang, I had to sit down and really face the reality of where I'm at, financially, and that, for some reason we just feel like we should all have things figured out in our 20s. I don't know why that is the case, but that could also be a reason why a lot of people are very, very scared of budgeting. So today I just want to kind of break it down, make it simple. How often should you budget? How should you budget? What a budget would look like. So what is a budget? Simply, a budget is really just taking account of your income and your expenses. And that's really it. Your income, how much you bring in, and your expenses, how much is going out. And that's just creating a budget that's what budgeting is. And usually it's encouraged that you do the budget before the money comes in. And I'm gonna explain to you why it's very important further down in the video. People see like people who are wealthier basically like spend money. They also budget. A lot of rich people budget. It's called their accountants. They really do have someone tell them, hey, by the way, this is how much you're bringing in. This is how much your expenses are. So you might have to just, for a moment, be your own accountant. And I know that someday we'll be able to afford accountants, but for right now, you kind of have to be the one doing your own budget. I do my own budget myself. I don't really have an accountant, but someday, someday. That's the prayer we're praying. But yeah, so how often should you budget? I think that budgeting should actually be done at different times. So you should have like your budget for the year. You should have your budget for the quarter. Cause one thing I notice about me is summer months, if I'm actually tracking my spending and budgeting, is that my summer months are my most expensive months. And then Christmas, fall time can be my expensive month because of travel. But summertime, when my budget is just out of control, it is out of freaking control. So like that's something I'm noticing from having tracked my budget for over the course of, I really started I started everything when I was going on my debt-free journey. So I really did start budgeting almost 3 years now. And one thing I've noticed consistently are my summer months are my most expensive. That's why I would say quarterly is also important. So you're like, okay, I know doing this quarter, I'm going to be spending way more than I did. And then monthly is also important because like I said, summertime being the most expensive time, the month being July, for some reason, July has just been really, really expensive. So also trying to understand, okay, maybe in July I need to increase my budget a little bit more. And then I also do on a bi-weekly basis because that's when I get paid. But if you're getting paid on a weekly basis, you might want to switch to a weekly budget. I practice more of a bi-weekly budget. And so that's kind of how you should budget. I think you just take it, section at a time and then see a big picture. And it's very, very simple. Just to quickly add in this video about kind of how to budget, I have attached a spreadsheet that shows you kind of how I budget for the year, and I color-coded, dividing it by the different quarters, and you can see it's done on a bi-weekly basis. So the next thing we're going to talk about is how to budget. This part is where I know I need you to just be a little bit more attentive. but I want to make it fun because I really don't want to scare people about how to budget. So the first thing you want to do is take account of all of your income. You have side hustles, you have a regular job, you might have 2 jobs. Basically just like how much money is coming in, right? And then once you do that, then you're gonna figure out what your expenses are. And with expenses, I like to say that we have 3 tiers of expenses, and I organized it as the tiers are valued. The first tier being the most important, the second one being like, we wanna shrink that as much as possible. And then the more we shrink the second one, for the third tier, the more we can have a lot more for our third tier. Okay, so let's dive into this expenses, because honestly, I know that that's the biggest part for a lot of us. Like, what's going out? Things are getting expensive. Inflation is kicking our butt. It's impossible to get anything done because everything just costs money. Like, we might have to be sitting inside. So the first tier is for your basic needs. That's shelter, your rent or mortgage, water, utility, electricity. So those are all your utilities, insurance. Then food, not food for eating out, just food in general. And then I like to basically include giving in my needs, and also my parent, because I'm an immigrant kid, and that's something that we have to factor in. The black tax, I don't necessarily think it is. It's customary to kind of give money to your parents in most immigrant homes or help out. The second tier, this is what I call, they're not needs, but you have to pay them. So these are the consumer debts, the bills, the credit cards, your car notes. These are typically your consumer debt. And again, I said our goal is to shrink this so much so that we can have more room and have more things going to our third tier. And the third tier really consists of, they're just our wants. So let's say you want to go to a concert, you want to go on a trip, you want to basically do things with friends, family, gifts, whatever it is that is not necessarily a need that you don't really have to do. This goes to the third tier. And so that's kind of how I organize my expenses. And it also helps you know how to prioritize your money. Or it will let you know, like, hey, a lot of my money is going to tier 2. That's not a basic need. I need to shrink it. Right now, a lot of my money is going to tier 3. Tier 3 could be anything. Your savings, like whatever, like just fun, future plans, goals, anything. So like a lot of my money right now is going to tier 3. And I'm really excited about that because I've already, my tier 2 really is non-existent. So that is really our goal whenever we're thinking about these expenses, because then you're like, okay, I need to kind of refocus, and pivot from what I'm currently doing. That's how you basically put together your expenses. And then the one thing that I do want to add to this is every dollar needs to be assigned before it touches you. So whenever your income is coming in, every dollar must go to something. And whether it's expenses, whether it's your savings, whether it's disposable income, it has to be assigned. So oftentimes whenever I've paid my basic needs, so every dollar must be assigned to an expense, and whatever is left over, and this is the beautiful part, whatever is left over goes into that. That goes into your tier 3, and your tier 3 again could be your savings. It could be money for fun, money to travel, money to eat out, money to spend shopping. It could be anything that you want, but the goal is to have that every dollar go on an assignment for you before it touches you. So you're not basically, the reason why this is important is that you can basically track your spending. You're also not spending frivolously, and you're prioritizing the things that need to be prioritized. And so that is really how you budget. And guys, let me know if you have any questions based on this video. I've put a link below with a free sheet on how to budget, and it's a simple formula, and I organized it to show you guys kind of how I budget yearly, quarterly, monthly, bi-weekly. You guys can plug in your numbers there, play with the numbers, and kind of figure out what your income looks like, your expenses look like, and hopefully get better at budgeting and predicting how you're spending your money. You can track your money. The last thing I would recommend is, if you are kind of being lazy and stuff, and don't want to do all of that and still want to kind of have something mobile, and I'm gonna make a separate video about this, but there's an app called Mint that I really use, and I think it's very, very effective because you can link all of your cards and in there, and it kind of tracks your spending habits for you and breaks it down for you, and so you can get a good picture about where your money's going. So you can also use that app as a resource. But yeah, this is the end of the video. Thank you guys for watching. Please, if you have not subscribed and you think this video is great, please subscribe, give it a thumbs up, share it with your friends. I will see you guys in my next video.